in at Ottawa, and I always said that the one military person who I was most afraid of was my flight engineer. My flight engineer.
Oh, flight engineer.
He was always pulling some stunt on me, and I went to take off at Ottawa, and the runway there was about, I think it was about, might have been 5,000 feet, but anyway, we lined up, got back as far as we could, and held the brakes and gave her full throttle and started down the runway. Well, at that runway at Ottawa, there were trees on both sides, and so we're getting towards the end of the runway, and there the trees were still beside us. So pulled it up and managed to go staggering off over the trees. Well, that wasn't so bad, but then we landed at Calgary, and we waited in Calgary because the weather wasn't very good over the mountains. We were there about 3 days, and Dean and my navigator and I, we stayed in the hotel, but our crew, they were all boozing it up and enjoying themselves with the ladies of the night. So we went to take off, and it was only 4,500 feet.
Oh, wow.
And it was one of those Calgary days with no wind. Hot day in June. And so,
not much left.
Same story, we looked at that runway, and it's okay. We were going northwest. Fortunately, at the end of the runway there was kind of a ravine, but anyway, we were told to go, so we lined up as far back as we could with the brakes and full throttle, and we got about 3/4 of the way down the runway, and we weren't off the ground at all. And so I said to my co-pilot, "Run her through the gate, Gordy." And they had a wire, and they had air pressure to increase the airflow, and they had a wire at 4,800, and you weren't supposed to go beyond that to 5,200 because you'd probably blow a plot. But anyway, there we were, 3/4 of the way down the runway. So I hollered at Gordy, "Run her through the gate, Gordy." So he jammed the throttles ahead, and I bounced her about twice, bounced and bounced again, and we staggered off over a barbed wire fence at the end of the gate. I hollered at the flight engineer, "Get the wheels up." So after the second bounce, I said, "Pull the wheels up." He said, "We're not off the ground yet." I said, "Well, we're going to be on it if you don't pull them up." So he pulled the wheels up, and away we went. Anyway, we were young and foolish. Yeah. Nothing was going to happen to us.
Dick Todd, wasn't he a flight engineer?
Yes, he was.
In England?
And I often accused Dick of being the most dangerous man on the air crew. And it turned out that, I'll think of his name, my flight engineer, he had been very kind to WD, who wanted a ride to Victoria. We were headed for Victoria. He didn't bother telling me he brought this woman on with him as well. She was an extra passenger with all her luggage.
Oh, my.
So that was an extra 1,000 pounds of weight we had on the old B-24. The old B-24
Was that from Calgary?
From Calgary.
Oh, my gosh.
We were flying from Calgary through the Pat Bay.
Oh, boy.
But anyway, nothing was ever going to happen to us.
Now, wasn't there
You're here now.
a pilot in training that landed on the farm? He got lost and ran out of gas or
that
something?
was an Englishman.
Yeah.
He landed on the pasture down.
Oh, he was flying. Yeah, he was flying a single engine.
Down in the Blackstrap.
Yeah, landed down in Johnny Mink's pasture.
Yeah, Johnny Mink's
We
pasture.
wondered how in the world he landed it without, because that pasture was full of stones.
Yeah.
How he landed it without wrecking it, I don't know. Yeah, that was very exciting. That was that summer.
Came walking up.
Yeah.
Well, they phoned Saskatoon, and they came down from Saskatoon.
Yeah.
And the pilot, I remember we were all rushed down, of course, to see what was going on. And he was walking around and taking a look at all the stone. He said, "Well, I guess I got to get it out of here. I don't know whether I'll make it or not. But he did the same thing that we did with the B-24. He held its brakes and gave her full throttle, and away he went.
Yeah, that was.
And he got off. I remember it now because I was watching it closely. As soon as he let go of his brakes, she shot ahead, and he pulled his wheels up immediately.
Yeah.
Flew her away to Saskatoon. And of course, this young fella, it was from one of those training fields down south. I think.
Yeah, Moose Jaw, I think.
Down there somewhere.
Was the story.
I remember he landed. Of course, we all ran down. And he was standing beside his plane, and he had his map. And he said, "Where am I? Where am I?" And he had the map upside down. And so it wasn't much surprising he was able to find his way when he was looking at the map upside down. So he came back up to the house then, and we phoned into Saskatoon.
Yeah.
Didn't Brother Mac have to correct him on? He said he'd run out of petrol. Mac said, "You mean gasoline, don't you?"
That's right. Yes, that's right. He was just about
Just about out
of fuel.
So I guess they brought fuel down from Saskatoon.
I think he wasn't an Australian. He was an Australian
maybe it was
or New
Australian.
Zealand or one or
Anyway.
the other.
Had a funny accent, I know.
Mac corrected them.
Yep.
They had to bring down a load of petrol.
That was one of Ellis's favorite stories.
I see.
About Mac correcting him on the gasoline versus petrol.
Well,
Mac never liked English.
Brother,
But he married an English woman.
And then married an Englishman, and
Brother Mac.
later on you could understand why he didn't like the English.
That's right.
Brother Mac avoided enlistment as long as he possibly could. Then he realized when the conscription came in, of course, then he was going to. Which one of the cousins had heard from the RCMP? They were looking for
It was Edna.
looking for John Malcolm Cline.
I think it was Edna.
Yeah, Mac had already gone on to the Air Force.
Yeah.
He joined the Air Force.
He had always cursed the English.
Oh, dear.
But the irony was he married an English woman.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't.
He
She
was
tricked
contrary,
he was
a
determined.
contrary man, poor old Mac.
Yep.
She
Wonder why
tricked
that is.
him into marrying her.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
The two younger children,
Oh,
and
dear.
then after the marriage, two older boys turned
Yeah.
up.
Well,
Well,
turned out there were mysteriously two older sons.
yeah.
Yeah,
Brother-
he married this lady, this widow with 3 small children, and it turned out when when the war brides were brought over, she came over with a family of 5.
Well, Peter had the story about it that
Not
the
a
old
very,
lady claimed
it's not
that
a very nice story.
No.
Maybe we should put this story
shouldn't
on.
put that story out. Claimed that she was pregnant
Yeah.
Yeah.
and would tell mother if Mac didn't marry her.
Yeah.
And of course,
Mac
she was about 50 then at the
Mac was
time.
trapped.
She must have been.
Yeah. We always claimed, and mother was there, that she was as old as mother was. Mother with her soft heart.
Mother was always trying to defend her.
Yeah, always tried to defend her.
But I remember when she arrived and Mac was kissing her and hugging her, and Dad said to me afterwards, I couldn't stand him kissing that old woman.
Made him sick to the stomach. To see him kissing that old woman.
Well, she had these hearing aids and the
One of
receiver
those-
in her
one
pocket.
of those
Oh, yeah.
old-fashioned outfits. Yeah.
And the
Oh,
kids would
dear.
get fighting, and she just turned the hearing aid off and keep on reading.
Oh, dear. Well, they ended up in Prince George, and my brother-in-law Edwin Morgan, he was working for one of these outfits, and he got transferred to Prince George, but he always kept his head down. He never let it be known that he had any connections with Jack Cline. He was known as Jack Cline,
they changed
and
his name, didn't
his
they?
quarrelsome
Yeah,
wife. And finally, they got right on the front page of the daily paper. They were having this big fight right on the steps of the courthouse. Edwin never let on.
She was a terrible woman, poor old Alice.
Yep.
Yeah. But Mother would always defend her, she said.
Yep.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
Mother was always.
Yeah, she.
well,
At least it was good for the children. So, and I suppose that was true.
Mother
Yeah.
said at least he gave those children a chance to
Yeah.
to get out of war-torn England over into Canada.
Yeah.
Actually, the family did all right.
But I remember the girl. What was the girl's name?
Kathleen.
Kathleen
She
was
was
a great.
getting
She was
married.
about my age.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She was getting married, and she borrowed a friend's dress, wedding dress,
Oh, I remember you saying
and
that.
they
Yeah.
sent it up to Prince George.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Did you get it back?
Yeah, we got it back.
Yeah.
But it turned out that Kathleen was pregnant, so
Oh,
Alice wouldn't let her be married
be
in white.
married in white.
So they sent the dress back. And then Alice sent us a big salmon, and she was so pleased.
Oh,
But by the
okay.
time it got to us, it was rotten. It had come in the mail, you see.
Mac was always determined that he would homestead. He had this idea of homestead. Well, he was a great admirer of Uncle John, who was
Yeah,
the
he
oldest of
was,
the family.
yeah.
I probably remember Uncle John. You fellows don't really remember him that much, but I
No.
remember him very well. Uncle John was he was one of those working fools. The Clines were known as working fools, and Uncle John was one of them. And he was a terrible man to swear, and he was always in a hurry. And of course, they lived just across the road from us. And as my brother-in-law, I would never admit he was my cousin. My brother-in-law Robert Hundry would say sometimes, "Well, there were two Cline families, who lived across the road from one another. We were the drinking Clines, and they were the church-going, the religious Clines." So, well,
Which
Uncle
wasn't
John.
quite accurate. Say it wasn't quite accurate. Some of that family became church people, and
Yeah.
Well, Ines was quite.
others on our side
Yeah.
found alcohol as a possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's right.
Yeah, old Mac
Ines was a very
Oh,
fervent Anglican
She
to her
was.
dying days. Yeah.
She wrote her own service, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Yeah,
she
she
wrote
wrote.
she wrote her own
She
obituary
was
and she wrote her own
determined,
order of
determined her
service.
children wouldn't
Yeah.
do that service. So she wrote her own
Well,
service.
you got to preside over for Neil, didn't you? Steve, didn't you?
This is Phil.
Phil, whoever you are,
What?
whoever you
Yes.
are on that screen, didn't you preside over
glasses.
Neil? Didn't they call you in to bury Neil? Or,
What's he telling me?
Oh, you're getting old, aren't
He
you?
can't
The
do it.
Colonel.
The memory is going.
He can't
Among
hear
the
you.
1,000 or more funerals that you had in your time, one of them was your cousin Neil, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I attended his. I didn't conduct it.
Oh,
okay.
But at least,
Yeah, Willis organized it.
well, good for Willis.
Well, I
He
guess
took us.
Willis,
He took us out. Took us out for dinner afterwards, and said, "Well, he thought Neil better pay for it since he'd always advanced Neil quite a bit in the past." So Neil paid for it.
Well, Willis became quite church-minded, didn't he?
Oh,
I think so. Yeah.
oh yeah.
Because I
he's-
remember he took Audrey, I think, into the church and prayed for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was, I don't know, sick or something, cancer.
No, Eric, quoting that business about some being the jerkers, some being the others, as Audrey indignantly says, he doesn't count the times when the religious side kept them in food and clothing. when Dave and Vera hauled stuff over there. Grandma Morgan emptied their freezer to take food over to Bob and Lillian,
Bobby, yeah.
and they thanked her.
Well, Bobby had the plan he would borrow himself out of debt. That's his,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
his
he
system.
wasn't able to do it.
No, I don't think so.